Welcome to the newest episode in a Legendarium series about the history of Easter. In this installment, the Reformation, we will talk about how the religious upheavals of the 1500s transformed the Easter holiday. Late medieval Christianity was a faith based heavily on ritual. There was much emphasis on rites and processions, especially for holidays such as Easter. By the year 1500, Easter had evolved from a 4-day event to a week-long celebration. It began with Palm Sunday, the first day of Holy Week. The priest would read out the story of Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem. He then blessed branches of greenery for use in processions. The priest also prepared a shrine that would contain the sacraments. The sacraments would be withheld from the congregation until Easter Sunday. Yet the core of the 4-day medieval observance remained in place within Holy Week. On Maundy Thursday, the clergy prepared the church by washing the altars with water and wine. On Good Friday, the clergy crept up to a crucifix on their hands and knees. The congregation would then do the same. They then sealed a stone or wooden tomb within the church that would symbolize the tomb of Christ, where he lay for 3 days before his resurrection. Priests then placed candles around the tomb to symbolize Roman soldiers. These candles would be extinguished during a Sunday Mass that celebrated Christ's resurrection. The people then enjoyed an end to the Lenten fast with roast lamb, cake, chicken, music, and egg hunts. There was even a special delicacy prepared for Easter Sunday called hot cross cake, a sweet yeast bun with raisins or currants with a cross cut into the top of the loaf. Yet reformers within the church didn't care for all of the ceremony and pageantry. They feared that people focused too much on the rituals rather than the teachings of Christ, which they saw as the door to heaven. In 1517, a German monk named Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg, outlining what he saw as flaws in church teachings. As more and more kingdoms in Northern Europe followed Luther's example and broke from the church, the reformers began reforming Easter. To be sure, the reformers were not of one mind on the matter of Easter. The followers of Martin Luther, for example, were ready to let the celebrations continue as long as they didn't distract from church teachings. Others, like John Calvin and Huldrych Zwingli, intended to make much bigger changes, and they did. They got rid of many Easter ceremonies, including the blessing of the greenery, the creeping to the cross ceremony, and the Easter sepulchre. Instead, they were replaced with simple sermons which explained the importance of Christ's resurrection. Yet for the most strident reformers, this was not enough. The hardliners saw Easter as nothing but a pagan holiday that snuck into Christianity. And the Puritans of England came to power after the Civil War, which raged from 1642 to 1649. They intended to use their newfound power to abolish Easter outright. They replaced both Easter and Christmas with strict observance of the Sabbath. And much like their attempt to abolish Christmas, the Puritan effort to abolish Easter, which they called Satan's holiday, would ultimately come to an end with the restoration of the Stuart monarchy in 1660. Easter was here to stay, even in Protestant countries. That wraps things up for this episode of the Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.